You're never going to forget this name. Puckipuppy Hummingbirds. Puckipuppy Hummingbirds. Say that 5 times fast. Puckipuppy Hummingbirds. This has got to be the most unique name of a bike.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
One of the things that we look at whenever we do the any kind of a review on a bike, or we're being approached to do a review on a bike, is the size of the bike, obviously. Heidi and I is a good contrast. We're not overly tall. We're not overly short. In my case, I'm overly heavy, so that makes it even more of a challenge. So whenever a bike comes across, we look at the specs on it. And in this case, we were looking to do a folding bike, as we've done some folding bikes in the past. 350 pounds this bike can handle, which is spectacular. I've had bikes that have been as low as 225 pounds, which, I don't know, that's, as far as an American male, that's a tough to stay under that, tell you the truth. I would love to be there, but the other thing is versatility. Some of these things are real small. They have smaller tires. They can't traverse through different types of terrain. And what I mean is, going through the campgrounds, even washed out sections, maybe on a road, a gravel drive, a sandy area, or if you're at the beach, like we used to do with our beach cruisers, or our big cruiser bikes. You got to have a little bit bigger tires to get through that sand. Not only that, but the bigger tires obviously handle, give you a little bit better of a ride. So we'll take a look at this one and see what it has to offer, but I know that it has a 750 watt motor. I know that these guys have it together because they have a 20 amp hour battery. Thank you very much. I'm tired of seeing 12 amp hour batteries on some of these. If you got a big motor, you got to have a big battery. And I know it has front suspension. It's folding. Let's take a look at it. I think there's 3 colors. I'm not sure which one this is. I think there's some red accents on it. So far, this one has the award for the best top as far as being secured, glued and stapled. And you can see, I had to pull it apart. It was so tight. I really had to struggle to get that open. Thank God that keeps things together whenever they're shipping it. But check this out. I like the idea that they're trying to make this a playful type of deal. Nice colorful box. We'll take a look what's in there. But I wanted to show you the packaging and what it looked like. Looks pretty standard. You have high density foam. The rack is already attached to the back. That's nice. Some of those I have to put the racks on. And the big wire ties, the big strips, we always see that. So handlebars down there. Looks like that the light's already mounted from what I can tell. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pull this thing out and start taking it apart. But as far as packaging, very good Puckipuppy. Always try to give you first impressions whenever we get this out of the box. The packaging was very good. All the critical components was covered with heavy, dense foam of some kind. They were all wire tied on there with the big wire ties. They don't use small ones for anything. And you can see here how big they are. I try to reuse these bigger ones. You just clip them close to the head. That way you can kind of recycle. Repurpose. Let's use that word. Repurpose. First impressions, though, is I know that they are trying to stay lighthearted with their name, Puckipuppy Hummingbirds, with the box and everything, the way it's colored. They are not playing, though. This is a nice bike. It does have a couple of standard features. It has an entry-level shifter here, which is just a 7-speed. And it does have mechanical brakes. But the tires, you can see, are a good size tire, and that 750 watt motor with rear suspension. Can you believe that? I didn't know it had rear suspension, to tell you the truth. Pretty wide frame. My hands are not small, and this is pretty wide. It's because that big 20 amp hour battery's inside there. Getting over to here, you can see the tires. Doesn't seem to have a brand on it that I'm familiar with. They feel nice. The rims are very nice. Big aluminum rim. Of course, that's an aluminum alloy, that whole frame in the first place. Big disc brakes. These are pretty large, considering it is a 20x4 tire. You get plastic fenders, which if you're going to have metal fenders, you got to make them very nice that they don't rattle. Plastic rarely rattles. And the seat, wow. Big memory foam seat. It's got some sort of cooling vent inside here, and it's got these rubber isolators. Of course, the seat's adjustable, but big aluminum post. This is shaping up to be pretty darn decent. Now let's go ahead and look in the box. I did cut the tape, but I haven't looked in here yet. Oh, nice! Look at this gift card. Contact us and win free gifts. Love to hear from you. Might hear from me. How about that? Oh my, okay. So we have the wrench. We have a manual, an actual manual. I mean, there's some thickness to the manual. 20 plus pages. Maybe it is 20 pages. You have a 2 amp charger. That's pretty standard. They give you some wire ties in here to finish off the wiring. Once this thing, you put the handlebar on and everything. You get your pedals. And you have you know what? This is very nice. This is a very, very nice setup. They have gone above and beyond here. Brake pads. You've got chrome vanadium wrenches. A bike pump. Albeit a small portable bike pump, nonetheless, they give you a bike pump. Going back to the bike, you can see on the front here, you do have bosses, so they may make some sort of a rack that can go off the front, or there may be some other manufacturer's racks that might work for that. Yeah, let's get this thing together. Okay, here it is all together. I've got a chance to go through the menu and that, just to take a look at everything. Nice looking bike, just like I expected. Went together relatively easy. A couple of things are a little bit different. Somebody trying to get our attention with the horn there. The rear light, which it does have a rear light. It's not a simple flashing thing. Rear light with a brake light in the back. I had to tighten that. That was loose. Let's see. Oh, now in my case, I went ahead and I cut off a bit of the stem for the seat, because if the seat, for it to go all the way down in the manner that you see it here, which we want Heidi to be able to ride this, it would hit the rear suspension. Most people don't ride the way we do. Most people adjust the height for them to be comfortable, and that usually means the seat between the seat height and the downstroke of the pedal, they adjust it that way. Not in our case. We like to ride the bikes in a sitting position for the most part. It still will allow you to raise the seat quite a bit, but I wanted to cut that tube off. I cut probably about that much of that tube off, just to let you know, to make it a little bit easier for, again, Heidi to ride that. The light on the front is very bright. I've actually seen that tail light before on another bike, so it must be a common source thing. The rear wheel, it's proprietary. Puckipuppy, you can see there. Interesting that they have their own branding on that. Again, the seat is very plush, memory foam, very soft, and it does have this cooling vent in here, and the shock absorbers that are kind of just some sort of a urethane. The handle grips feel good. The spacing on the bar is bigger than some of them we've had in the past. Of course, the bar is adjustable up and down. And Shimano 7-speed, like I mentioned. This is a thumb throttle, but we want to get into some of the really nice aspects of it. Again, front suspension, but the fact that it's a full suspension bike is really, really nice. And now let's talk about the menu or options, or the display. The first thing I did was I brighten it up. What you do is you press and hold the plus and minus buttons, or the up and down buttons, sorry, not the plus and minus. I guess it could be. And you can see you've got a few different settings here. I'm sure the sunlight's playing havoc on this. Brightness, which if you want to change the brightness, you would hit the power button. You can see there, level 1, 2, 3. Well, guess what? I have it on level 3. It's not any darker than what I currently have it. Units, of course, that's going to be your mile per hour, kilometer an hour. Startup mode, you can either have safe mode or free mode. Well, I did free mode because I wanted to start on the thumb throttle without pushing it. So if you hit this at a standstill, it takes off. I think a lot of people like to ride that way. I don't know for sure. I got out of the menu. And the last thing was, you can see it timed out, is reset the trip. So you could reset the trip. Well, we're not going to do any of those things. Let's go ahead and get out of here altogether. And the way you do that is you just push the brightness button or the headlight button when you're in that menu. And this, of course, turns on and off the light. You can hear it's got a little horn, not very loud. And the display is very unique. You have your pedal assist. It's a bar graph that also has a number over here. And then you have a bar graph for your battery, your percentage of your battery, which is kind of odd. Because it just says 0 to 6. I would think that that might go to 10, so you could figure out your percentage a little bit easier, but it's not. And then, again, I don't know how much is coming on camera here because the sunlight. The shows your mileage, shows the time, and as far as this eco mode, that's what your throttle is controlling. So like if you're going up a hill, it's going to say power. Or if you've got it full throttle, it's going to say power, not eco. This just lets you know how far you need to push this throttle and put a load on the motor to keep your mileage at the highest point so you can go the furthest on a charge. Now, a lot of people ask this, and I'll tell you the same thing I've mentioned in the past if you haven't seen on our videos. Mileage varies. Range varies. Everything varies. How heavy are you? What's your terrain like? Is it hilly? Do you pedal a lot? Are you a big wind sail? Is it windy out? I mean, all those things play a part on this. With the 20 amp hour battery though, that's one of the biggest batteries that I've seen in a folding bike. Getting into the folding portion of it, there is a hole in the bottom, a port down here, and it's for the keys. The keys do not turn it on, they do not turn it off. All they do is lock the battery in place. So if you think that you have to run around with a key in it, you don't. You just have to have a key to take the battery out. Why would you take the battery out? If you want to charge it inside instead of leaving it out on the bike. But you can leave it on the bike because here you go. There's a charging port right there. You do not have to disconnect and pull the battery out to charge it, which is pretty common with a lot of them. I like the way that the rear swing arm is. You have a pivot point down here. It looks pretty solid. And then your rubber isolator. This isn't adjustable. This isn't a spring or anything like that. It's basically an isolator more than anything else. But it does help with the ride, especially with this big seat. And again, with the weight configuration that you can have on this, meaning how many pounds you can have on it, 350 pounds, I'm sure you'd put that to a test pretty well. So let's go ahead and get some riding characteristics on this thing.
Oh my gosh.
We'll let Heidi go for a ride here. Got a voice over this. We had some external noise. I will let you listen to the bike though. Very smooth. I was surprised by how quiet it was. Our road is pretty rough out here, so you'll hear the fender a little bit when we go to this part. It's not not horrible, but something to note. We made provisions. We talked about that a little bit, but the light is really bright on this thing, and well, we'll get Heidi's thoughts on it and see what she thought. I thought it was nice. Now that you're taking it for a ride, what you think?
It's a very nice bike.
The suspension, I think, is the smoothest that I've ever ridden on the rear.
Yeah, so our roads are a little bumpy out here, and
I heard the rear fender.
Yeah.
This part here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that could be secured.
Yeah.
But other than that, no noise. It was quiet.
It was a comfortable ride. They're very nice seats.
Yes, and the suspension here. Sit on that, and we'll show you. Even with Heidi climbing up on there, watch the suspension will compress right away. Look, see that? Check that out. Go ahead and kind of up and down. You're letting it bounce on the seat. But yeah, with me, it's even better. It's
a nice
even
looking
greater.
bike.
The graphics, you can get, like I said, green or red. I think there might be just black if you want to do that. I'm impressed with the power more than anything else. The fact it has a 20 amp hour battery, that's good because I'm sure it would use it.
Oh yeah.
I also noticed, did you notice your speed?
I actually maxed out the speed, so
Yeah, with the throttle.
yeah. No, with the pedaling.
Oh, well, no, with the pedals, I did not.
Oh.
I did 20 with the throttle, but with the pedals, I was doing like 22 miles an hour.
Oh, okay. I did not pedal that much.
Now, I don't know if there's any, yeah, I don't know if there's, same here. I don't know if there's a setting on that that you can override it. I don't see anything in the book, any of those P settings. But the shifter was nice and easy, and it's a comfortable ride. So the links are going to be down in the description for this. Click the link, take you right to it, and check out what else. I think they have a full-size bike also if you want to look at that. But
That's a very well-made bike.
Puckipuppy Hummingbirds. That's a funny name for a bike that's definitely not a joke. That's for sure. So, as always,
We hope to see you out there. Bye.